Dan Illman, Mike Beer rolling right along with the stakes action at Saratoga on Friday with race number 9. This is the $150,000 West Point Stakes at 1.16 on the inner turf. You can play this race and the plethora of other stakes races at the Spa on Friday with a DRF Bets account. You get $100 in deposit match upon sign up at drf.com/bet. Let's meet this field of hard-hitting turf horses. And really the key to the race, Mike, is whether Voodoo Song runs. Linda Rice had mentioned in Dave Grenning's DRF Advance that maybe Voodoo Song might opt out of this race and wait for the Belmont meet. Voodoo Song, if you recall, was getting ready to inherit the mantle of the new 4-star Dave. Interestingly enough, now he's run last in his in 2 of his last 3 races at Saratoga. What's happened to Voodoo Song?
Maybe a little bit of after he became a Grade 1 winner last summer up here. They've run him in some really tough spots. I thought his Baruch was okay. He didn't run well at the end of last year in the Shadwell at Keeneland. And listen, I feel like he needed his first start off the layoff when they brought him back in the. He got tired at the end, which is fine. Last time, I thought maybe Les kind of got a little too aggressive with him, Dan. They sent him from the outside. He made a pretty fast pace, I thought, up the backstretch, and he just gave it up in the stretch.
Yeah, I think Jose Lezcano was too concerned with Guidou in that race. He really put the pedal to the metal going into the first turn, and once Voodoo Song at the backstretch, he was just lit up like a Christmas tree, and he opened up a big lead, and he actually took him to about the 8th pole before getting tired. Now, the blinkers are coming on. I'm not really sure I love that sign, and again, Linda's sort of making waves that perhaps this horse won't run, but if she does run, Voodoo Song will be on the lead. Here's the Timeform U.S. pace projector for the race. Voodoo Song up front. It's not like there isn't any other speed in this race. It's just that Voodoo Song is the fastest horse in the race. Now remember, head on over to timeformus.com after scratches are made official. This pace projector will adjust for the scratches. Sitting second on our pace projector is the number 5, Mo Maverick, going out for trainer David Canizzo. And Mo Maverick, simply a speed horse as well. Last time out, going out to a lead in a starter allowance race. Didn't see any excuses. Thought he went easy on the lead, was beaten. If he's in chase mode here against Voodoo Song, he's in trouble. If Voodoo Song scratches, he makes an easier lead.
Yeah, I guess he does. It'll be interesting to see what happens with or without Voodoo Song, because this horse wants to lead. Voodoo Song feels like he wants to lead. I even think there's another horse in here who wants to be forward. So I think this pace could get contested. Listen, this horse didn't run well last time. I don't really have an excuse for it. He is better than that. But I still don't really like his running style for this race, where it feels like he needs the lead to be effective.
The other runner that likes to be on the lead is the 6, Everyone Loves James. We have him 3rd on the pace projector, obviously closer if the 7 scratches. This horse last time out I thought went pretty fast over that wet turf course, and 1 mile 3/8 just probably was stretching the limitations of this son of Freud. 2 starts back, he ran a real solid race to get through his New York bred conditions. The question is, does he need the lead to succeed? Because even if Voodoo Song is out, Mo Maverick's got him outposted and he'll have to be in chase mode.
Yeah, I don't like the way this race sets up for him, no matter if Voodoo Song runs or not, because I don't know if he can run without the lead. I'm not sure if he can. I'll give him the pass. I thought he ran better than it may look last time. I think that's too far for him anyway. This is a better distance. His race 2 back was kind of remarkable. I'm not sure what was going on in there, but it almost felt like Eric Cancel had a problem with his equipment. He could not control this horse throughout the entire running of the race. He still won for fun in there. He's got a lot of talent. I'm not sure that this is the race for him, Dan, but down the line, he's a horse you want to keep your eye on.
Formulator fact for the legendary trainer Jonathan Shepard over the jumps, over the flats. Past 5 years in flat turf route, stake-bred, non-graded stakes races for older horses, only 0 for 21. Take that with a grain of salt. We're dealing with a 20-1 shot here. Let's talk about the number 1 Therapist, who's not going to be 20-1 in here. He's 5-2 on the morning line. I kind of like Therapist a little bit. It's slightly shorter distances. Maybe I'm just a little bit nuts. Last time out, I thought he was a little bit too close to the pace as the favorite. I know there wasn't a lot of pace on, but he was chasing. I was kind of disappointed the way he finished until Luke Cullen came back and won the Lure with a 98 buyer. And now I realize that Therapist could trip out here sitting behind the speeds and getting a little drop in class.
Yeah, the Cullen's a really nice horse. I kind of agree with your take, though. I thought maybe he might have been a little too close. Maybe he's a little better when he sits and then just tries to make one run through the stretch. I think he'll get a good trip in this race. I guess the real question is, Is he better like around 7 furlongs to a mile at Belmont where it's around one turn as opposed to these kinds of races? I think that's something to consider, but especially at a short price. But this is a pretty good horse. I think he's going to run well on here.
Rapt was third in this race last year. He was only beaten a length. I mean, he doesn't really have a winning profile. You have to go back to the 4th of July, 2017 to find his last win, but he picks up pieces. And if the pace is fast, you know he's going to be running late. He's not the worst horse in the world to use in tries and supers.
Yeah. That's how I look at him too. I would use him underneath. I can't use him on top. He just never gets there. And it's not like, even though he's the deep closer, it's not like he's got some huge finish in him. He just gets out in the clear and he stays on at the end. He doesn't come flying late. I can get a piece of this stuff.
And then they got your nickname at the track, the 2 Hobo, who was 5th last time out, the beaten favorite in an entry-level allowance race. Hobo looks like he's in a little bit tough. I really respect David Donk's work. This horse, though, when he tried stakes horses in the Mohawk last year, was found wanting.
Yeah, we look at him the same way. I think this race can set up for him. I'm not sure that he's the best closer in the race, and it just feels like these races are a little too tough for him.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this year's West Point. Chad Brown represented with Offering Plan. And I can understand anyone saying, listen, you're not supposed to take Offering Plan at 8-5. He's not the most reliable horse in the world. I think given the pace of this race, he's the best closer. I think he handles yielding ground. I think he handles firm ground. Who knows what we're going to get on Friday. I just think that if he runs his best race, he's the best horse.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. We'll see if he gets the right trip in this race. It feels like it should set up for him. A lot like Therapist, I think he's a better horse at Belmont than he is anywhere else. Not that he can't run well here, because he has. I didn't check my math, Dan, but I feel like it's 10 New York bred stakes races in a row where this horse has been first, second, or third. He's always right there at the end. I'm using him, but I'm not going to bet him to win as the favorite.
But I feel the same way I do about this race as I did in one of our earlier stakes, where I feel like I should have upgraded your top pick a little bit more, the 8 Dot Matrix, who's only started twice this year for Brad Cox. I loved the way he finished at Churchill Downs 2 starts back. It was his first race off a long layoff. He didn't break. He swung widest in the stretch and then ran by everybody in the lane. Pretty good off the layoff to beat 2 next out winners. Last time out, I thought he had trouble on both turns while saving ground. And listen, there was no pace for him to run at. The field has come back a little weak. That's bothered me, but this horse can kick a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with your take on both of his 2 races so far this year. I liked his return. I don't think the last race set up that well for him. And the 2 horses that ran 1-2, they're pretty good. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with either of those horses. So, I'm a little concerned that they shipped this horse here after Cox got him and got him good. They shipped him up here for the Kingston last year. I didn't think he ran that well, but he got a perfect trip in that race, and 2 of the horses who were back in this spot outfinished him at the end. But I think he's going to get another really good trip in this race, Dan, even though he has the outside post, and I like his 2 races since he's come back from the layoff. Really
interesting selection. I think both of our horses are going to be closing late. Yours at a better price. I'm going 3-1-4-8. Give me numbers.
I went, I threw Voodoo Song in, so we'll see if he runs. Okay. I went 8-7-3, but if he doesn't run, I'll throw Therapist in there as my 3rd pick.
$150,000 West Point Stakes, race number 9 at Saratoga. It's a smorgasbord of stakes races at the Spa on Friday. Bet them all with a DRF Bets account. $100 deposit match waiting for you at drf.com/bet. And the West Point has an approximate post of 5:18 Eastern. Good luck.